Well, I remember, because we talked about this before. I've been to Senegal before, in Dakar. And I remember the first time I went there, I had this really kind of interesting sort of epiphany. Because growing up in America, I'm an immigrant. I came over from Russia when I was 5 years old. But growing up as a white person in America, there was always this kind of tension I felt between whites and blacks.
Yeah.
And I just assumed that was just natural, that human beings are born kind of racist because they look different, et cetera, et cetera. And when I went to Senegal and I started to walk around and I started to meet people and see people as I walked around, I realized there wasn't that type of tension and there wasn't that type of racism. Yeah. And it suddenly started to dawn on me that, oh, this ain't a human thing, this is an American thing.
Yeah, it's definitely an American thing. Yeah.
And it took me going to Africa to really understand that.
Yeah. It's unfortunate.
It's sad. It's sad once I kind of realized it.
Do you think they'll accept all blacks back?
Hell yeah! Like, man, listen, that's one of the biggest misconceptions. Africans don't like African Americans, or black people in America, when they go to Africa, they get treated like, they trash. No one.
Like they not
that's
one of them.
Completely not true. Every African American I know that came from America and created a business in Africa were millionaires within 2 years. I know this for a fact. And they all know, because I was like, yo, from the moment they say, yo, man, I'm moving off to Africa, man, I got this business I want to start up. I guarantee you 2 years when I came back, they was multi-successful in that, making multi-million-dollars. And I couldn't believe it. Because the thing is, it's so much opportunity. It's so much opportunity. And half the stuff that work in the U.S. will already work in Africa anyway, because majority of the time it's not actually being done there. And most of the people that's over here already have the education on how to do it successfully. You know what I'm saying? Like, prime example, the music industry. I already knew that was a great road for me over there. So when I went there, I said, okay, cool. I want to just be the universal of Africa. Why not? We go and sign all these acts. Let me start developing all these acts. Right now, Nigeria got a great sound that's starting up, but they speak English, which means they understand and they can be understood outside of Africa. And they already got the swag, because majority of Nigerians, are in line with the British. So when you go to the UK, it's fashion friendly there. They got the swag, they know how to flow it out. So that's why I started my, Konvict Africa in Nigeria. And then from there, we started associating ourselves with artists, our styling acts. And before you know it, because of that, now we got Wizkid, we got Davido, we got P Square, we got The Badge, who now was, currently managed. And I mean, Mr. Mady, like, it's nonstop. And now it's that whole wave that everyone is slowly starting to gravitate to over on this side. And it just goes to show how just a thought of what that is, and you give it 2-3 years, and how fast it's actually growing once they have a platform to actually stand on.
Mm-hmm. Right, and Wizkid just had the song with Drake.
With Drake, you know what I'm saying? Like, and these are all artists, so it's like, and it's easy. It's not even, because the talent is there. They just need a platform.
Yeah. Now, just the other day, Trump was nominated as the Republican nominee. Now, you had made a comment before that you actually compared Trump to Hitler.
Yeah, a lot of the comments Trump was making, Hitler definitely not only made, but and I'm not saying Trump is Hitler. I'm saying the way his comments come off feels like an era from Hitler. Because it's just like, we are way too deep in for, like, there should not even be a gender separation, a nationality separation, a color separation in 2016-17. Like, it just doesn't even make sense. Like, what purpose does that make? Like, I just don't understand. Like, it doesn't matter, because no matter who you are, where you're from, or what color you are, you can't tell me that one person is either more talented or more smarter or has more capabilities than the other person in any field or any, system. It just doesn't make sense. Like, if you're telling me the only thing that separates us is color, and now, of course, gender is a big thing, but at the end of the day, we still are human. We still got all the same body parts. We still all got the same functionalities, and we still all bleed the same red blood. So it's like, what is it about all of that that makes anything different, that creates life to be more complicated than it has to be? It's just stupid to me.
Just to believe in each other.
Boo Dirty, what do you think about Trump?
I just did a video with Trump.
He just put Trump in the trunk in his last video.
Wait, you put him in the trunk?
Yeah. Kidnapped him.
You kidnapped him and put him in the trunk?
Yeah.
There you go.
He just, I don't know. I think Trump is bad. I think he's bad for America. You know,
And
I
he's
think
getting worse by the day.
because he's magnified the way of thinking of the people that was hiding it. And I would have preferred they continue to hide it, because when they hide it, it offers time for us to explain it to our kids growing up. Because my kids don't know racism. I don't even teach my kids black history. Period. You know why? Because black history in America is completely negative. And me teaching them black history is only going to make them hate white people. You follow? And I'm like, why would I want to poison my kids' brains with that, even though it happened? But that's the past. That has nothing to do with our future. And guess what? With every past, you learn from it, you develop from it, you become stronger, and you become better. So I'm not about to bring them back to the past of memories that was made by our ancestors who was dealing with whatever they was dealing with at the time. Well, now we can just figure out how to use that same mind instead of learning about the future, the history. We can use that same mind to develop the future that won't have to look or feel like the past.
Yeah, are you Muslim yourself?
Yeah, I'm Muslim. I was born Muslim.
Okay, so there you go with the whole Trump thing once again. Mm-hmm. Where Trump is essentially anti-Muslim.
Yeah, but he's anti-everything. He's talking about immigrants in general, right? He's just using the Muslim because it's a great play for him now because, the Republicans have been pushing this whole, Islamic terrorism thing up in the forefront. So he's using that, as a trump card to gain as many conservative voters as possible. But when you're talking about immigrants, bruh, if you sending all immigrants back and have them all re-enter, then guess what? He's sending his wife back too. Because she's clearly not from here. So what are you telling me, Trump?
Yeah, man, I'm scared if Trump gets elected.
Listen, even the Republicans are scared. They, you know what I'm saying? Like no one has really officially endorsed him like that except Christie.
Yeah,
Everybody else is like 1 foot in, 1 foot out, just in case. And if they endorse, they don't endorse to the fullest. They endorse just enough to make the Republican Party happy. You know what I mean? Like it's crazy.
When you look at what's happening right now, along with Trump and the racism that's rallied behind him, now you see a level of social instability that you haven't seen since like the 60s.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Boo Dirty. In Memphis, that's the Deep South. How do you compare the racism from Memphis to a place like New York or California? Do you see a difference?
Basically, I don't see a difference because everybody gets along. You know what I mean? Like you got to be, like he said, like you got to be stuck in old times to even feel that way right now. Like the world to this day is like I don't feel no different about you. You don't feel no different about me, because if you would, you wouldn't be sitting right here interviewing Akon if you felt that way. You see what I'm saying? Like, you look at us as how we look at you, like a successful man. Like, it ain't about the color issue or how you feel about somebody. Like, I feel like he's trying to bring that back. Like he coming out the closet, letting us know how he really feel and what he really want to do. And there's some people out here that really want him to do it.
Yep.
Just been feeling like that 20, 30 years. Like,
and it's the older conservative crowd. That's old folks.
Exactly.
Because our generation don't care about that.
I was watching somebody and they made sense. They were like, the stuff that's going on today, they've been separated us, like different schools for them, different education. Like, it's been a difference. You know what I mean? Like, it shouldn't be like that. It shouldn't be the difference in us. Like, what makes you get a better education than me?
Exactly.
But then I grow up and still be smarter than you. I just learned a different way than you.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like, y'all two ain't no different. Both of y'all successful. No matter where you learn and studied it and where he learned and studied it, it's no different. Life go one way. It goes one way. Like pulling the trigger of a gun go one way. It ain't got 3 options, 4 options. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, I just think people these days ain't thinking twice about it. It's the ego and the pride. Like, the younger generation don't think. You know what I'm saying? Like 30 years ago, they still It's still pain from growing up with no tennis shoes. It's still pain, like people want to take out on their mama light bill not paid, and McDonald's pay you $7 an hour instead of 16. You know what I'm saying? Like people, McDonald's a multi-million-dollar business. They still paying $650.
Multi-billion-dollar business.
Yeah, billion. I'm sorry, $1 billion business. They still getting you $650 an hour, $750 an hour. Like, how can you feed a family? Well, if a young lady got 3 kids, what's she gonna do? Voucher, Section 8. You know what I'm saying? They leaving us in this type of world instead of graduating and bringing us up. I mean, we just got to work together. I believe the Black Lives Matter and everything going on there is gonna help the world be more successful.
Yeah, and I think with every situation and every organization like that, it's going to be a lot of conflict created in the process of it. It's going to be a lot of turbulence before there's going to be, you know, a smooth ride, because whenever there's a huge change of that sort, it's like a culture shock. It's a shock in general for you, because these are things and comments and things that being said that you're just not used to hearing in public. You know what I'm saying? Like, you hear it behind closed doors. You hear it amongst your friends. Some people even speak on it. Some people joke about it. But no one hears it in public and mean it. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it's done in public, it's done in a humorous way. You know, like Saturday Night Live. You know what I'm saying? Like, but in your mind, you're like, man, that shit was funny, but that shit was real, though. You know what I mean? Like, no one never speaks directly about it. Now, it's like people are speaking directly about it. So it's actually a benefit that you now know how people are really feeling in certain parts of America, but it's also a disengagement when it comes to trying to create a better environment for children growing up, because you don't want them tainted, and you definitely don't want them to be in a position where they inherit that same hate.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And that's the part that worries me. I don't want our children in a position where they're getting confused trying to figure out, why is our politicians talking about black people and women and, you know what I mean, that way. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like they warned us with the movie Remember the Titan 3, 4, 5 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Like, Remember the Titan was a movie like that, to where they were separated and they both went on 2 different buses and came back together. Like, that's what's going on now. Like, everybody putting their foot down together. Like, hey man, I ain't got no problem with you. You ain't got no problem with me. I ain't like him. I don't feel like how Trump feel. You know, there's some people out here that's expressing their opinion like, I don't feel like that. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm John, you so-and-so, that's us. You know what I mean? Like, there's some people out here that want to get along, that want to do things that blacks do. Like, it's some blacks that want to do things that whites do. You know what I mean? Like, we just got to come together. It's getting better, though. I got a good feeling about it.
No, I think it's getting better. And I think, you know, that's God's work, because he's just flushing it out and flushing them out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
He's flushing it out, you know, because he has to expose those. He has to expose everybody that has no, you know, great thought, you know, and great idea for moving the world forward in a positive way, and flush out those selfish people that's just trying to create businesses and opportunities for themselves and the people around them, because it still always boils down to money at the end of the day. And we just got to be in a position where we can, you know, evenly distribute the wealth in a way where everyone feels like they're going to benefit when they put in their hard work and earn time and, you know, equity side. I mean, like, sweat equity in. Like, people work hard, but they just don't get paid the wages they feel like they work for. And that alone causes a lot of pain. So now when you have to deal with that, then you have to be dealing with mistreatment on the process of that. And then to make it even worse, you got a government who you feel should be protecting you from a lot of this, and they're not creating no reforms to make things more comfortable for you. Now you walking out your door every day with 3 strikes already against you. And after so long, it's going to create so much frustration. You really can't be held accountable for how you react to that after so many years. You know what I mean? And that's what's happening. This is all a reaction of what's been happening for so long. You know, honestly, you can't even blame a lot of these people for what they do. But at the same time, the city, the politicians, they have to be held accountable for it, because these are the same people that's hiring these people that's having all these issues within the force, and they're the ones that's selling the guns to these people with these, you know, these brain aneurysms and mental health issues and things of this nature. It's like, if we don't create reforms to prevent that, yeah, this ain't gonna never stop. It's simple. They can stop it. The politicians can stop it right now. They rewrite the laws to where it's not about profit and about real, human life, that benefits human life. And then from there, you have to now hold the people accountable for those things that's done against people's human lives.
What do you think about the whole situation?
Man, my point of view, man, I really feel like they tried to paint a bad picture on my brother and tried to make him look like he was a hater. It was some envy, jealousy type shit, you know what I'm saying? And actuality, you know what I'm saying? Bro been having this shit, man. He been in the condo.
I got my hat on and I had my Coke bottles up under my hat. And I'm sitting at the dinner table like an asshole with the hat on, knowing she gonna tell me to take it off. And I'm just sitting there just gulping down, in my zone. She said, take that goddamn hat off at the dinner table. I'm like, come on, Mom. Coke everywhere.